Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning, and today we've got another new choke to try out with a rather interesting shell as well that we haven't seen on the channel in a good long while. So I'm definitely curious to see how this combination does, because it might work out good for us or it could be rather disappointing. I really don't know yet. But as for the shell I brought out here today, I got out some of the Federal Premium 3rd Degree TSS shells. Now these shells are a 12 gauge 3-inch 1 3/4 ounce payload of 5, 6, and 7 shot, all blended together. The 5s and 6s are both lead. I believe they're a little bit different densities of lead, like the 6s might be a little bit harder than the 5s or something like that, but the number 7 shot is the TSS that's in this shell, so kind of a blend load, not a full-on TSS load. And I believe that the price point on these is somewhere between $35 and low $40 range. They're more expensive than lead, but not as high-end as a full-on TSS shell is. And these do have the Flight Control Flex wad in them, which I am not personally the biggest fan of. They haven't really ever shown me anything super impressive that I can remember, so we'll see how these do through today's choke combo. And as for today's setup, I brought out the Remington 870 Special Purpose. It has a 24-inch barrel on it, but for the choke, we've got an HS Strut UnderTaker XT in here. It's the high density version of their UnderTaker choke. It's a 675 constriction. We have not tested this one yet, but the original regular run-of-the-mill UnderTaker is generally a pretty good performing choke. So we'll see how the little bit fancier XT high density version can do with these 3rd degree shells. There's nothing really fancy about it other than a couple small ports on the side, so who knows, maybe it might be the perfect combo for these shells. But as for today's test, everything is set up the same as usual. We've got the turkey target at 40 yards and the chronograph so we can get our velocity out of the shells. So let's get you guys to view that target and see what the 3rd degree TSS shells can do through this UnderTaker 675 XT high density choke. Is this combo going to work out or not? I don't know yet, but let's see what it gives us. Alright, so that shell gave us 1273 through the chrono. The box claim is 1250. So from that 24-inch barrel, we still absolutely got their box claim. And that is starting to get up there and move out a little bit on the quick side. But we're still not too far out of the realm of reason here. So not looking bad for a velocity, but what kind of a pattern did we get down there at 40? Let's go check it out and see. Alright, so now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and I gotta say, it's not super impressive looking. Do we have a dead turkey here? Yes, we do. There are several right down the spine that would have done the job for you. And there's nowhere left or right on that turkey paper that he can move to and get away from you. So, is this a good enough 40-yard pattern? Yes, it is. It's gonna get you that turkey every time. Now, looking at the pattern as a whole, it is pretty broad and a little bit all over the place. We really don't have much of a core. We might have a little bit of splotchy little hot spots throughout that core area, but not anything super defined. Outside of that, we covered most of the rest of the palette, and it is splotchy. There are a ton of larger voids and stuff around the outskirt edges there. Anything outside of that main turkey paper, there's a void there for sure. So definitely not anything super impressive here. Now, you guys probably won't be able to tell on camera, but it is a decent mixture of all the different shot sizes throughout the entire pattern. So we didn't just blow the 5s or just blow out the 6s or anything like that. The pattern is just a little bit all over the place. Now, yes, it is a 675 choke. It's not the tightest turkey choke when it comes to 12 gauge stuff, but we have tried these through tighter chokes and more open chokes, and this is pretty much the same result we typically get. And that UnderTaker XT is not a fancy choke at all. It doesn't have any kind of wad stripping rings or straight rifling or anything like that in there. It's got a couple of small ports, but that has not shown to make any kind of noticeable difference with these Flight Control Flex wads. It just seems like a lot of Federal's turkey shells are not the best performers. And that goes for their Flight Control Flex wads as well. This is why I'm not really a big fan of them. Is that turkey pattern good enough to take out and get you a bird with it at 40 yards? Yes. It's the same story as we typically see. It's good enough, but it's not something that I would personally seek out and go turkey hunting with. It would work if that's what you had, but it's not anything that I would call impressive by any stretch of the imagination. So I'll give you guys one more close-up look here at all the little splotchiness and voids and just how broad this pattern is. We don't really have a ton of flyers, maybe one down there at the bottom, but the pattern is just kind of all over the place. It's not condensed at all or anything like that. So a little bit of a disappointing pattern for today, but it's not really surprising, all things considered, either. I was hoping we'd see a little bit better with that particular choke, but that's just not the case. I think this is pretty realistic for what these shells are. And here's that Flight Control Flex wad. Looks the same as they typically do. You have the little tiny slits down the side instead of the standard Flight Control wad, like in the buckshot loads, having the big flaps on the side. I honestly think the buckshot Flight Control wads are way better than these, but there's nothing stuck down in there. It definitely didn't snag on anything weird or anything like that. Looks very much normal. They're just not anything super impressive in my opinion for what they are. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about that performance right there? Is it a dead bird at 40 yards every time? Yes, that's gonna get the job done for you. So it is a good enough combination to take out on a turkey hunt. Is it anything impressive? Definitely not. It's not what I'm looking for, I know that. But I really don't think it's too surprising for these shells either at the end of the day. That is kind of what we typically see from them. And I was hoping coming into it that this Undertaker XT 675 would be a pretty decent choke option for those, but it doesn't really seem to have helped much at all. And like I mentioned a minute ago, we've tried these through tighter chokes, we've tried them through more open chokes, we've tried them through ported, non-ported, whatever the case might be, and it's just the same story with that Flight Control Flex wad. They're just not super impressive performers in my opinion. But leave all your thoughts down in the comments. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you a little surprised one way or the other? Have you tested any of these 3rd degree TSS shells? And if so, what kind of results have you seen from them? Is that a pattern that you would use? Or is it just a little bit too broad and a little all over the place for you as well? And what other chokes do you want to see these shells run through? I've still got one more of them left, so if there's a combo you want to see, then by all means let me know and we can try it and see what happens. At the end of the day, just not super impressive, but more than likely that's probably what a lot of us figured it would look like anyway. So not entirely surprising either. So with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we've got the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All that information will be in the description if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.